We'd like to introduce the Galaxy S3, our new smartphone, designed for humans and inspired by nature. Let's start with design. Samsung Galaxy S3 mimics the beauty of nature and recreates the natural curves of leaves and pebbles. Also, despite its large 4.8-inch screen, it manages to fit perfectly in your hands. The Galaxy S3 will come in two colors, marble white and pebble blue. Each color makes a unique natural statement of its own. Even the user interface is inspired by nature. Samsung's own TouchWiz interface has been upgraded and infused with nature and human emotion. Take a look at this lock screen. When you touch the screen, you can see the water ripple and hear the sound of real water drop. The alarms and ringtones are filled with soothing sounds of nature too. Now, let's talk a little bit about hardware. As you can see, the screens are very quick to switch. Compared to the Galaxy S2, booting time is much shorter, applications are launched quicker, and web browsing is also faster. Let us introduce the unique pop-up play feature. If you get a text message while you're watching a movie, simply use pop-up play. You can move the screen around, and you can send messages without having to stop the movie. To go back to the video player, you just give the screen a light tap. Great, isn't it? The Galaxy S3 has a high-performance camera. You can instantly capture and share your special moments. It shoots images without any shutter lag. The burst shot feature lets you take up to 20 photos consecutively. And the best photo feature automatically recommends the best among 8 different shots. The next feature is direct call. When you view a text message and you want to call the person right away, just bring the phone up to your ear. The Galaxy S3 will automatically make a call for you. To share the photos with other Galaxy S3 devices, you can use the S-Beam feature. S-Beam allows you to send video, music, and images in any size. To use S-Beam, simply touch the back of 2 Galaxy S3 phones together, and the files are immediately shared. Isn't that wonderful? Again, the Samsung Galaxy S3 is a smartphone, effortlessly smart and intuitively simple. Enjoy the maximum benefits of the latest smartphone features with the Galaxy S3.
Samsung Galaxy S3, designed for humans. Samsung Galaxy S3. Designed for humans.
Hello, it's me again, Zoe Hardman. We are backstage in the product display area. The main event out front's finished, but we've managed to sneak backstage to take a look at the Galaxy S3 firsthand. Now, behind us, you may notice there's these 3 Samsung mobile pins. Now, what are they? Well, I didn't know about 10 minutes ago what they were. So basically, they're premium brand experience spaces. Say that when you've had a few drinks. They're basically pop-up shops, and they're going to be appearing at loads of iconic locations around London over the next few months so that you guys at home can check out the Galaxy S3 and kind of have a play with it firsthand. It's a very special phone. I've just been sitting out there. It sort of feels a bit like Christmas morning. Everyone just came running out to try and have a look at it. I'm going to see if I can steal one of the phones later on. But for now, it's very exciting. We've managed to get to grab hold of a lovely man named Matt, who's going to have a little chat with us.
Hello, Zoe.
Hello. Can I get you to introduce yourself?
My name's Matt Warman. I'm the technology editor for the Daily Telegraph, the consumer technology editor. So phones are my thing.
Well, I was going to say, you know about phones.
I like to think so.
Now, you've just watched the launch outside. What did you think of it?
It's really impressive. This is the biggest event of its kind. It's really challenging Apple. Samsung has become the mobile phone brand that everyone needs to know about, and it's made a huge impact on a world that just a few months ago was dominated by the iPhone, and now it's a whole different world. Samsung has got a huge amount of traction by selling a huge number of Galaxy S2s, by dominating across a whole range of devices, Samsung Galaxy Note, that sort of thing. So they've made a huge impact. This is a really big deal for them, though, and it will be really interesting to see whether the S3 catches on in the same way that the S2 did. The S2 sold 20 million.
20 million, wow.
20 million, that's several. Well into several by my count.
Now, they're kind of leaders in the sort of smartphone field. Do you think this is going to push them further in the market?
What they've obviously focused on is innovating. They've done things with the S3 that no one else is doing. Things like the eye tracking so that it doesn't go to sleep when you're looking at it. Stuff that has frustrated consumers loads, and so they've made an effort to fix it. There aren't many companies out there that are actually trying to innovate, and Samsung is making a real effort. I think consumers appreciate the effort. At the same time, this stuff has got to work. It's all very well saying it does stuff. If it doesn't do that stuff, then they will have to pay a certain price. But if you look at previous Samsung products, then they have not only tried to innovate, they have also delivered. So there's a lot of excitement, and probably with good reason.
And one of the things I found so amazing is when he said, when the screen goes black and you're reading an email, and it's so annoying. It is so annoying.
It is, and that sort of thing of constantly having to re-enter the code or the pattern or whatever it is you've set up. If that works, and in the limited time I had to play with the device beforehand, then it did work. So if it keeps working, and if it doesn't turn into one of those features that is actually more annoying than it ought to be, then it will make a huge difference. And it's stuff like that where other manufacturers have suddenly got to play catch-up with Samsung. For a long time, other people have been playing catch-up with Apple, with HTC. Actually, Samsung with this are clearly in the lead.
I mean, it's amazing, really, and it's also, you said earlier on that you kind of had a little play with the phone. Are there any sort of features that really stood out for you?
Well, I think what's interesting is Smart Stay is interesting, that they're keeping things awake while you're looking at it. But what's also interesting is the package, is that it's not that there is one individual thing where you go, that's amazing. It's the combination of stuff that keeps it going. And things like Dropbox, they've got 50 gigabytes of online storage. To give you an idea, that's twice as much as HTC has got, and HTC had more than anyone else. So they've made a real effort to look at what the competition is doing and to try and better it in every single category. It will be interesting to see what happens next. We've probably got about 5 months until the next iPhone. That gives Samsung a huge amount of time to get a real start on Apple. It gives other manufacturers a huge amount of time to panic.
And who's going to buy this phone?
It is aimed at people who are early adopters, if you like, who are technology fans. But what's interesting about the S2 is that it was around for long enough that it became the default mass market smartphone. So if the S3 aims for that market again, then everyone's going to want to buy this smartphone.
Yeah, and who do we need to talk to get one, Matt? Because I really want one.
I wish I knew. They gave me an hour with it beforehand, and they wouldn't let me take it away.
Steal one.
Outrageous. Well,
Matt.
Filming for you, that's got to help, hasn't it?
Matt, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. We've managed to grab somebody else now as well. Another journalist. Hello.
Yeah.
Can I get you to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Gareth Beavis, mobile devices editor for TechRadar.com.
Okay, Gareth, I want to get your initial thoughts. What did you think?
Well, it was really impressive. I mean, this is one of those things that's been led up to for about 3 or 4 months now. It's one of those things you can really get excited about. I mean, everyone talks about iPhones and that kind of thing, but this is, this is a big launch that everyone got really excited about. There's thousands of journalists here. It's one of those times, we see loads of phones every day, but this is sort of something you can get actually palpably excited about. It's really nice to have that.
Can we talk about the micro features of the phone, the really kind of intricate details that we've got there, the fact that it just feels very human?
Yeah, well, the sort of inspired by human nature, that kind of thing. I mean, every phone is identikit nowadays. We always get the same thing over and over again. So to actually try and think of something that's a bit different, a bit, more ergonomic in the hand, that feels a bit more like it's part of you rather than just a sort of faceless black slab is really nice. I mean, obviously things like the nature, sounds, the fact that it ripples. I mean, people have tried that before and it hasn't quite worked. So when we've seen it so far, it really does seem to make a bit of a difference, which is actually really nice. And things like, the Smart Stay feature where, it tracks your eyes and it really thinks about what you're doing, and it knows if you've got a message and you want to phone somebody, you're probably just going to put your phone to the ear. And
that's amazing, isn't it?
It's good, isn't it? But that's the kind of thing you just need to actually do. I mean, Samsung's done stuff before where you just sort of swipe left and right to call or message, and that was really intuitive. But let's take that away and move away from the fact that we're actually having to do things with our phone, and just do what we would do anyway, and it can kind of work it out. We don't want it obviously to know everything we're thinking and do everything we want it to do. We want to have some input, but this is kind of marrying those two together quite nicely.
It's kind of like having a mini robot around with you the whole time.
Yeah, it is, and it's based on Android anyway, so that's what it's all about. But it is, these things are designed to sort of serve your life. They're meant to be kind of an assistant in a way. I mean, that's what S-Voice is about as well. You want to know what the weather's like, you ask it, what's the weather like?
Rubbish in London.
Exactly, yeah. But then you can find out what it's like in Paris, which is obviously a much nicer place to be. But things like, I want to play music, I don't want to have to mess around with loads of menus. I want to actually just jump straight into it. So if that works, and I ask it to turn the volume up and it does that, then how is that a bad thing? It takes away the steps, and that's what we really want from our phones these days.
Are you going to get one, Matt?
I really hope I'm going to get one. It's about the cost of it, but I'm sure it'll be pretty, acceptable. But I mean, I've had the Galaxy S2 for a year now, and I love that phone. I mean, even as a journalist, we're supposed to be quite, agnostic. But that's actually the phone I really like to use. It's got a bigger screen, it's HD. I love watching movies and browsing the internet. So fingers crossed, it's great for that. And obviously, all that storage is what we're really happy about. Micro SD, brilliant feature.
Okay, and for consumers out there that are kind of thinking, should I get this phone? Shouldn't I? What would you say to them?
Well, I'd say the first thing you should always do is go and pick it up and play with it yourself. I mean, it is a bigger phone, it might not be for everybody's taste, but the thing is, phones are getting bigger screens now, and like I said, it feels nice in the hand. The plastic, I think, is quite a nice feature to it. Some people might think it's a bit lightweight, but, it's worth looking at. But definitely people should go down and definitely check it out, and I think we're going to find a few more people buying a Samsung phone these days, yeah.
Well, I definitely am, although I'm definitely going to need some sort of guide, because it does look quite complicated.
It looks complicated, but the great thing about today's smartphones is it's just play with them and see what happens. You can't break them. You can't press the wrong thing and make it all fall apart. You press one thing, see what it does, you learn about it, and you maybe don't use it again, maybe you use it every day. But smartphones are intuitive, and this is obviously, inspired by humans is a marketing spiel, but if that's actually helping people to use their phones day to day, that's really exciting. That's what we need, really.
Amazing. Well, it's been so lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thanks very much.
Okay. So there you have it. It's been a fantastic evening here in London. What I've really kind of noticed about this phone is that it feels human. It can even tell you when you've gone to sleep, which is, amazing. It can turn off. The atmosphere is still buzzing back here, and I know that the Samsung S3 is going to reach millions of you out there. So enjoy this phone. It's definitely one not to miss. I've been Zoe Hardman. Thank you for watching this evening. Good night.